The Nordic Ware Factory Store is celebrating all the blossoms, bees, and pollinators with beautifully detailed floral and bee-themed pans. You'll find pans, baking accessories, bundt cake mixes, and more, all designed to make your baking easy and the results delicious. Visit the Nordic Ware Factory Store in St. Louis Park today.
All right, everybody, time for that Monday night meal. We love to give you quick, easy, delicious meals for your weeknight ideas. If you're doing a little meal planning, this is what we do on the day that is known as Monday.
Monday. It's a great way to start the week. So Emily Dingmann, the creator of My Everyday Table, shares a stir-fry recipe that's quick, it's flavorful, it cooks in one pot in less than 30 minutes.
What is this, a Rachel Ray episode?
I know, how are you? It's good to see you. You had me with one pot.
Yes, well, next time bring your wok.
Yes!
If I had known.
I know. I get it. I'm overthinking the seasoning portion of this whole
But if you don't have a wok, you can do this in a pan.
You can use a really big stir-fry pan. Like the largest you have is helpful.
That is good. Why? Because you want more like crisping area?
Well, yes, but also it helps to just have room. And like we'll see with the spinach, there's going to be a lot of spinach that we're packing in, and it cooks down, but like it's better to have extra space.
I think that's a good tip in general. Like it never does any harm to have too big of a bowl.
Yeah.
It's a real pain if you pick too small of a bowl.
Yes.
The same
Things
applies
are
to pans.
going over the side and making a mess.
Yeah.
And
Why not? It all cooks the same way.
Yes.
So, all right. So how did you get this whole process started?
Okay, so we have our Minnesota pork kind of sauteing with mushrooms.
Yum.
And chopped up mushrooms are such a great way to kind of stretch some meat and also just add in veggies. They kind of take on whatever flavor. So, and the pork is so good and juicy and succulent that the mushrooms just kind of melts into the pork almost.
I learned this on my protein journey that mushrooms actually have a lot of protein.
Do they?
It's like kind of shocking for as far as vegetables go. They're higher in protein because I was adding up my omelet one morning and being like, how many grams am I getting? And then I learned the mushrooms were contributing like 4. It was great.
There we go.
Who knew?
Good to know.
Who knew? I don't know.
So then we are going to, we have our spinach.
Do you want that now?
Yeah, let's put that in. We're
Okay.
gonna,
Okay. What seasonings did you put in there?
Nothing yet.
Nothing
so
yet.
It's just a little bit of salt. But I was going to say the mushrooms will release some moisture, and you want to let that evaporate, otherwise it gets a little soggy. So you can see now it's all evaporated and it's ready.
And they look like they have a good texture.
They have a nice, they're not going to be slimy. They're going to be nice and kind of round.
Okay.
So then we're going to add our spinach.
All of this?
All of the spinach. It'll cook down.
No way. All of that's going to go in
All
there?
of it. And then we're also going to put in the stir-fry sauce.
Okay.
You
What's in there?
So this is a mix of soy sauce, sesame oil. You can drizzle it
Just
on.
go ahead.
Yep. We have fresh garlic, fresh ginger, a little brown sugar for sweetness, and some cornstarch, which will just help thicken it and make it glossy, kind of that like typical takeout style texture.
Yeah, it like makes it a sauce and it comes together a little bit.
It comes together,
I think you shouldn't skip that part.
No, it's really worth doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you can't do cornstarch, there's other starches you can use, or you just have to cook it longer, but it does really add a nice texture.
I've done arrowroot just because I'll have that around.
Yeah.
And that works well too.
Just always on the ready. Just arrowroot. Just right there in your holster.
If you have it. If you have
Just
it
a
handy.
little quick draw on the arrowroot.
I know. I annoy myself.
Is it important to make sure that nothing like sticks, like to kind of be active with the tossing and the turning?
I mean, not so much at this point. We just really want the spinach will wilt in just a few minutes. It's just there's so much here. We need it all to just hit the pan for a little bit to wilt down.
This is good. Spinach is easy to grow too.
It's so easy, and it's it's also another kind of mild vegetable.
Yeah.
So my kids love this meal, even though it's got some, spinach and mushrooms.
Well,
in
when
it.
I was a kid, my mom would make these spinach lasagna roll-ups or like things like that where it's mild tasting.
It is very mild.
And I think it is a good introductory green for kids who might not like greens.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so then how do you serve this? And I always love your plating ideas, particularly for little ones.
Yes. So I did look this up, and I've been making this recipe for 7 years. So when my kids were like 1 and 3, we started having that. Aww. Maybe that helps them like it now because they both love this meal.
Yeah.
But if I'm serving it to kids, we might have a kid who's like, yeah, I like this, and you can put it on the rice and they're going to be good to go.
Yep.
But if you have a child who's not quite sure, or you're serving it for the first time, I always find it helpful to serve everything separate.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
And then I always add some milk and some fruit. If they don't eat any of the pork stir fry, they're still getting a pretty balanced meal here with things that they are comfortable eating with. And it can take a lot of time and exposure, but eventually, you know, your kids will probably be willing to eat that.
Yeah.
But I found without pressuring them, it makes it a lot better.
That's so good. All right,
I think it's really important to start off by not mixing it all together, because I know a lot of kids and adults that don't want everything mixed together.
Yeah, and
I want it all mixed.
I do too.
I feel like my 10-year-old is just now starting to be like, I want it all mixed. So.
Oh my gosh, Emily. Yeah, this is a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
So simple.
So simple, and I cannot believe it's so, like just the amount of flavor that was in that little beaker right there.
Yeah.
It's so packed, and it's a great idea to put the mushrooms in there because I
Yeah.
love the texture of that, but
Yeah.
it doesn't change the flavor at all.
Yeah.
Great job, Emily.
Thank you.
Look, I
so
can't
much.
stop. That's
Thank
so
you.
I know.
delicious.
You go ahead and keep eating. I'm going to let everybody know that you can follow Emily on Instagram at My Everyday Table for easy and delicious weekly dinner ideas.
And then, as always, we're going to post a link to this recipe along with a bonus recipe for Emily's peanut sauce. Oh, hey now. It's all on our website, twincitieslive.com/recipes.